Hello, Thala. Hi, how are you?
Hello, Mustafa. I'm good. Thank you for having me here.
No, it's great. It's pleasure to have another Pakistani on our podcast. And the whole aim of our podcast is to get Pakistanis folks, talented people across the globe to expose them. So tell us about yourself first, about your studies, where do you live, how you end up going into an IT, and then how you end up creating your own company. We are all, excited to hear about you.
Right. Um, I think if I'll have to just go back to 2009, where I had an opportunity to move to Italy with my family, and I did an international baccalaureate, and that was like a pivotal point in my life where I started to understand what is it to be part of the international community, because there were a lot of students out there when I was studying at a British international school there. There were a lot of people who I connected with, and that changed a lot of things in me, a lot of how I looked at life and in perspective. But I came back for the university after that, after doing my international baccalaureate, and I studied bachelor's in computer science from a university which is called Center for Advanced Studies in Engineering in Islamabad. It wasn't a big university, but it was in fact the first batch, and the head of department had brought in really good faculty from different experts from across the world uh, who wanted to teach, and most of them from European universities, a few of them from the American universities. They were doing the masters and PhD there, and they came back to teach us. So it was a very good exposure in learning from the people who had that kind of exposure and international experience. And as we went along, that's when we, in fact, met back in 2000. I think it was 13 or 14 at OX Technologies, and I was doing an internship there with you. So after completing my bachelor's degree, which was in, and most of the people talk about the GPA anyway, but it was good enough for me to go ahead for the masters and or even for PhD, but I didn't want to do that. Um, I wanted to be in the industry, and and very frankly, I was not a good software developer because I could not sit down for a long while just to think very focused while being very focused and do the coding. I was more of a people's person. I was more of a management person, and I think that's what I had realized very early on, when the CEO of the company had realized it as well. By the time, when I had started my first job at DPL, which is a company in Islamabad. So Syed Ahmed was the CEO there. He saw that this guy is very vocal because of the challenges and the issues around the office, and of course for his team as well, because there used to be different teams, and there used to be like a designated people's manager amongst each team. So I was that, and I used to advocate for a lot of things, and that's when he realized that he can do other things better than software development. And that's when he offered me that he was becoming the chairman of Pasha, Pakistan Software Houses Association, which is the association of IT companies
Hmm.
um, in Pakistan, and he offered me a position to move there. There was another offer at their own in their own company, where I was supposed to become like a business analyst plus project manager. But since I did not have that PMP and other things at that time, other certifications at that time, and they were doing some layoffs at that time, so I chose to join Pasha, because I thought that was a good opportunity to connect a lot of tech CEOs across Pakistan, and how they are um, building the companies. Another bit was that I thought that it would be a good way to contribute towards being a hopeless patriot. I thought it was a good way to serve the community or serve the country way better. But it was a it was a good decision to move there. And I spent around 6 years there, starting from the one person in Islamabad, the Secretary General or the President was in Karachi, then the Secretariat was moved to Karachi. And at that time, I was the only person in Pasha. There was chairman, and it was just me. Two people who were there in Karachi, they had left. A new Secretary General was supposed to be hired. And for good 3 4 months, I was the only one. Then the new Secretary General came along, and I think he spent around 2 years with us, and then he moved on to another position, and for a while I was the Secretary General.
Okay.
So de facto. So that was COVID. So 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 many things were happening at the same time. During this journey, I sat down to um, manage and do and plan a lot of events, global, international delegations, as well as local events in Pakistan. We also took charge of Pasha ICT Awards, which is a like a flagship award event that happens every year in Pakistan, and their winners go to represent Pakistan abroad. And then I also sat down to understand and read the finance acts of FBR and the taxes and the state bank circulars and their policies and everything. So that got me a bit of a gist that how policies are written and made, and what's the process of doing the policy advocacy, and how the comparative analysis are being done. For example, around 2014, India had launched a Startup India plan. So we wanted to do that same thing around 2016 and everything. Same thing happened. I think there was another initiative by India or probably Egypt that we wanted to sort of use as a precedence and advocate to the government. And at that time, Anusha Rahman was the IT minister, and she was very vocal. She was very enthusiastic about doing getting things done. So about around the time she that PMLN government was ending, we got our few wins for the policy advocacy. So moving on from there, I left Pasha around in 2022.
Yeah, you
And
differently. Okay.
yeah, so I joined in 2016, at the beginning of 2016, and left in 2022. So it was quite a journey. And around that time, I wanted to move on to. I was thinking what I should do, and I think if I look back at it, maybe I should if I should have taken a job that was related to sales at a good company in Islamabad, and that was mostly software sales. I think that would have taught me a lot, but I chose not to do that, and then started my own services company. I was not in the favor of doing the regular web development and the mobile development at that time. I was thinking that we should do something else. uh, Maybe because I was always very fascinated by the movies and how they're created, especially the sci-fi and the Marvel movies and other ones. So I thought, is there a possibility that we can create those sort of experiences? Let's say not even for the movies, but for the games. Let's say, can we create them here in in Pakistan? Could we have the talent to do that? Maybe the technology is there, but the talent has to be developed. So I didn't do a lot of research at that time that how many companies are doing it in Pakistan, but there were only on the top of my head, and also through some network, I knew that a lot of companies in Islamabad or in Pakistan who were doing gaming, they were doing smaller games like hyper casual sort of games, and not any bigger titles, which is fine because for the economy of like bigger games for RPG and the RDS, there a lot of money is required. And with that kind of money, the risk of failure is very high.
Mm.
So where in a country like Pakistan, where there's no abundant capital for different startups to try and fail, this is not the place where you can do a lot of those things. Uh, Nevertheless, there are a few companies like Play and other things. They were doing some really interesting work back in the days. So later on, when I started this services company, my previous boss, who was Shahryar Haidari, he was running a company back in 2000s, Triangle Interactive, who were making those ads for Nike and other Adidas and other bigger brands across the world.
Okay.
And all that team was dismantled, and they went on to do other things. So Play and Quixel and other companies came into being. So Quixel was then acquired by Epic Games, which has the Unreal Engine. So now they have an office in Islamabad. So around the time we sort of set it up that Algorite is the company that we want to make, and I asked my colleague from Pasha to join me, and he joined in kind. Because he is the one who is very creative, very good with the design and everything. So I knew that we would have that covered because if he comes in, and he has been the one strong pillar that we have been building on a lot of things, which in fact I would like to show and going forward is that how we sort of go into the details, pay attention to very small details, and sort of create a very good experience. So that's when the journey started, that we wanted to do games or virtual reality applications or blockchain with the integration of those applications as a service for now. And later on, once we would have decent experience and good amount of money, let's say, or maybe even if we can pitch for some capital to raise some capital, we can do it later, the product side.
Hmm.
And so now we were at a position that we had started a company, and now I'm connecting to that sales bit. If I had done that job, I would have known that how to do sales. Since I didn't do that, so there was no experience. So more or less, a lot of companies in Pakistan, how they start from Upwork. You
Mm.
start you start getting some small projects, and you start. Interestingly, we started back in July, June or 2022, and we got our first substantial project in October. So
That was
during that,
fast. That was quick. Yeah.
I'm not sure because we were running out of money. We had replenished all we had spent all our savings by that time,
Okay.
and so but it was around the time when it was we could do it. So the first game that we started working on, and how those people just found us, and the client froze from UK. The game is called Yetiverse. We spent a good amount of time doing the concept art and the whole creation of the artwork and the UI UX design and the gameplay mechanics. So it's a metaverse based RPG style game. I can even show it.
So this
So
was your first ever game created in your company.
yeah, it was the first one. We had not done any artwork before. We had no experience with whatever we, but this is what we did at the very beginning. So the whole theme style, everything that the UI UX, the gameplay mechanics, multiplayer integration of NFTs and the blockchain as well, so that those NFTs could be minted on their chain. The game is still yet not live because the client doesn't want to do it yet as yet. I don't know why, but it is a full it can still be played. There are a few mini games inside. So this was the part where let me show you where NFTs were being created. Yeah. So
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the universe. Hey my man, how's it going?
so all of these visuals, the lighting, the assets, the props, these are being some, of course, some of them are being taken from assets online available, but all of this is being done in-house. And it was our first big project, which went up to around 70, 80K in over the period of 6 to 8 months.
So they end up paying you. It's not like that they are not running the product, but they didn't pay. They paid you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. They paid us, but it's still there. It has still yet to be going to live. It's available on Play Store and App Store though, but they're not promoting it as yet.
Oh, so it is available, you are saying anybody can
Yeah,
download
yeah.
and start using it. So do me a favor,
Yes.
share the link of this one. I'll put into the description.
Hmm. Sure, will do. Will do.
In fact, I would love to have all your links. Maybe I'm sure you must have put those links somewhere in one place. If not, do that and share that link with me. Maybe put it on your LinkedIn, one of the article, put all those links which are shareable and give me the link of that LinkedIn article. I'll paste that.
Sure. We have all of these on YouTube, by the way, as listed videos. So I can also do that in fact. So
Now, I
we
would
have a
like to
YouTube.
play your games because a game created by a Pakistani company, at least I would like to. Or normally, I'm not an indoor guy, indoor sports guy. I'm an outdoor, but I would
Right.
like. Actually, I can share with my daughters because they are very much into it, and I can get a feeler of Roblox, right? They play
Yeah,
Roblox a lot. I think this is something similar like that. Okay.
exactly.
What
So
else? Yeah.
So this was created in Unity
Hmm.
and all of this work, but there are a couple of mini games inside it, and a few more games like a battle royale, let's say like a PUBG sort of a game, can even be added. That was the aim at that point, but due to the budget constraints, we didn't go ahead with this one. We added a few mini games inside, like a snowboarding or a Uno game, which is called Yeto in this one because it's a Yetiverse.
Yeah.
Uh, Themed experience. So apart from this,
Yeah.
as we were talking about the games itself, one of the recent ones is this one that we're working on. So it's for the
Show
children.
us your master class. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So this is the recent one. All the so client usually comes to us with an idea. We
Hmm.
sort of develop the whole idea, the concept and artwork and the theme and the colors and the gameplay mechanics. So this one, gameplay mechanics was an easier bit, but then blending everything together, that's where we come in. So this one, the client came to us that we want to create a game which is not very stimulant for children, and we want to teach them about good food and bad food.
Hmm.
So what we did was we created a couple of avatars. We start with the first level. It's a Mario style game, and then they have to go and smash the bad food and fight the bad food while consuming the good ones. So when it's being played on a tablet or a mobile phone, it's the colors are very non-stimulant. That it doesn't make them very hyper. So all these pancakes and other the sodas and the cans, that's what's been taught to them. These are bad foods,
This is
like the
awesome. I
cake.
can tell you. Yes, it's awesome. I'm loving it. Especially you have put that number of stars and hearts on top left,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, that is also there. That's good.
So that's a confidence level. One is the health, one is the confidence level. So as they consume the bad food or they come across it,
Mm.
and they're supposed to collect the good food which is hanging up there somewhere. And this is a reminder to stay hydrated.
Mm. Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
So drink water, that's like a message to them. So we want to teach them what are the good things that they should be doing as they go through the day.
So this is in production live.
It's almost completed. The three levels are almost completed. We have yet to publish it on App Store. Just a few tweaks, and it will be available on App Store in a coming week.
Awesome, awesome. So you make this and you give it to customer. Do you have any stake into it? Means
No, no,
like
not this one, not
okay,
this one.
okay.
I'll show you the one that we have stake in, and it's a bigger game which we are doing with the Saudi client, and it's an RTS game, real time strategy. But now we are blending it. Let me reduce the music.
No, I
And
can't hear any music. Yeah, that's fine.
okay, and now we are uh, sort of pivoting it to an SLG game,
Hmm.
because now there are a few games out there which are making a very good business, which are called SLG, Dark War Survival and Whiteout Survival. So we are taking an inspiration from them, that if we are making a game which is based on strategy, we might as well, bring in those features which can make games a lot of money. Because
Hmm.
the story is that people have one person spent around $500,000 in that game over the period of 1 year. So that's the potential of those games. People can spend as much that kind of money inside the games. So
Okay.
those whales exist. So we want, so we potentially want to tap those whales. This is
So
the last one.
question here. Sorry to stop you. A question here for our Pakistani again, kids who want to see your success and who want to repeat this success. And I think this is one of the reason we are having this session. How to get investors? Did you invest yourself or you found an investor? If you found an investor, I think maybe a few minutes on it that how to get those guys in, the investors.
So far we have all been bootstrapped. We didn't do any we didn't go to any investors, because a lot of investors don't invest in a services company. Yes, there was one, but we thought that we were not aligning well with them, and we didn't take the money. And also they also thought that we have to also grow to a point where
Hmm.
they can invest in us.
So when you
But
say
I think
bootstrap means customer paid, is that what you
no,
mean?
so bootstrap means it's our own money so far.
It's
Like
your own.
we started with our own money, then we started getting the projects, uh, and then we sort of kept our cash flow by
Okay,
ourselves. Yeah.
okay, good. Okay, nice. I think this is amazing.
As you asked earlier, that if we have stake in any other game, this is the game that's been built with the idea. In fact, it's based on the idea when Muslims invade had war with the Persians, led by Khalid bin Walid.
Hmm.
So this game is called Crown of Khusro, and we are doing it with a Saudi partner. Now they are going to raise funds for this one, and we are going to expand its development and operations. This one, all the whole gameplay mechanics and everything, it's been designed in-house. Again, the customer came to us with an idea, and we did all that artwork. We did the research that when Muslims invaded, in fact, went to war with Persians. In fact, Arabs went to war with Persians at that time. What was it like? What was the art architecture like? Who was the emperor of Persia?
Hmm.
So we created these cutscenes to tell the story. So it's a story-driven game, and now we are bringing in the SLG part of it. This one is available on Play Store and App Store as well.
So you're following the actual history, putting everything together over here.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're trying to portray different leaders. Let's say Khalid bin Walid, and this was his sword, and the Muslims were marching towards Persia. And now this is the gameplay. It's been changed and it's been upgraded quite well so far, but it's from in fact 6 months or 8 months ago. So it's a
So it is like that, like in reality, Muslims won this castle. So it means if you are able to win this stage, then you will be only able to go to next, else you keep repeating it. Is it something like that?
more or less yes, but since we are building a huge game and they've fought for almost 10 years, so we have a huge gameplay to make.
Oh, okay.
So there were some battles which were won by the Muslims.
Yeah.
Most of them were won by the Muslims. A few of them were not. So in
Mm-hmm.
fact, we're trying to create that whole journey of
Mm-hmm.
battles, and along with it, we are trying to create, we're trying to bring that SLG part where you make alliances and fight against each other, and on the while going through the storyline. So we're trying to blend in the two ideas here together.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So in fact, the first war was the Battle of Chains, where they got the letter. The Caliph sent the letter to the Persian emperor, and then they said that okay, we are ready to fight against you. And then there was, yeah, this was the part. So very interesting stories here. The Battle of Chains was an interesting one where Persians were defeated very badly.
Hmm.
The reason was that they were wearing the chains. The frontline warriors were wearing the chains in their feet.
Hmm.
And Khalid bin Walid had a strategy to bring them to one part of the battlefield and to the other part of the battlefield. So by the time they were truly exhausted in 2 to 3 days, that's when they started. That's when they attacked the army. So Khalid bin Walid, being a very good war strategist, that's what
Yeah,
happened.
yeah. Actually, I was looking at a YouTube video the other day of Khalid bin Walid. At the end of the day, all 100% wins came from Khalid bin Walid. Even when he was stripped off from his badge and
Yes.
was not winning it, the at that point in time, the Supreme Commander brought him and make him the Supreme Commander to run the game. And he won that. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was an amazing, amazing story about Khalid bin Walid. Yeah.
Indeed. So all of this cutscenes, all of this gameplay, that's been done in-house.
Okay, awesome. Okay. That's great experience, Tala, and I'm amazed that people sitting in Pakistan who is doing this kind of. I think again the projection, which I'm trying to do it now. I think we need projection for Pakistani kids and companies who are doing this such amazing jobs. I think someone has to do that. Do you guys do any kind of marketing from your angle as well, like Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads? Do you guys do that?
We haven't done that yet. The two
Okay.
reasons, I think, because the people that we want to tap, because we are doing the services, they
Hmm.
are on they're not mostly on Facebook or Instagram. They're on other channels. We
Okay.
want to probably go to Reddit, LinkedIn,
Yeah.
other places, so that we can tap those people who we can work with.
Yeah.
Secondly, once this game that we were just talking about will be out there, then we will be running ads for the downloads and the user acquisition, so that we can make more money and we can get more downloads and through the in-app purchases.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
a 1 year ago, there was one game called Pixels. So this is were inspired by that. This is a Web3 game, which is more,
Yeah.
which has its own token. We did the smart contracts, we did the NFTs and the integrations, and all that. Apart from the gameplay,
Hmm.
how it's going to be on chain along with the tokenomics, so that we can help our customer with everything, the tokenomics, the token launch, and other things after that. So we did the backend development and the blockchain development, as well as the game development.
Hmm.
As you were saying that there is has been more appetite from the beginning for adoption of blockchain with the games, because most around the world, it's been a well-known sort of theory that gamers are the mostly the first adopters of new technologies
Hmm.
because they want to explore, they have the appetite, they have the curiosity to go with things. So gamers eventually had that kind of. So let me tell you what's the concept of this game. This was called Lands, where you were playing the game, and as you go along, you would need to buy more land, and that land was as an NFT. So then when you buy that NFT, you can acquire that land and build something on it. So then its value goes up, and
Hmm.
now you have the opportunity to sell it to and trade. So, so this was the theme behind this game. So it was more like a barren land at the beginning, and then you start building on it, and that's the gameplay.
Okay.
Yeah. And with the help of Web3, there's a trade. A trade is possible.
Okay. Awesome.
I know that the graphics are something that people are maybe Pakistanis are not very inclined to,
No,
but
I
it's
love
something
this. I love this. It's really giving a gaming,
nostalgic feeling.
yeah, so every game has a different feeler, right? So I'm
Hmm.
loving this one actually. Okay, what else we have? We need to go towards blockchain now. Blockchain is very famous nowadays. I would like to explore your experience on blockchain as you mentioned.
Let's go towards that. By the way, this is one of our own products.
Okay.
We we have not been able to pursue it because whenever services come in, we have to
Yeah, yeah.
allocate the resources. So it needs some patience, some sort of dedication with the product team, so that who can do dedicatedly work on this. And then, of course, the launch and the building and everything, because product mindset is quite different than the services mindset. So there
Yeah.
are multiple concepts of now that but how blockchain can be beneficial for a lot of things.
Hmm.
And this is where the integration of AI and blockchain can be a very good use case.
Yes, so before we go into it for our audience, I want to turn this discussion towards data and AI, where in corporate world, I personally feel decentralization is going to come in corporate world now. Either it is oil and gas, either it is banking, financial sector, telcos. Decentralization is coming across the world. So just for my audience that we are moving into that direction that Tala is going to explain something for us. Yeah.
So the good part is that now people are moving to past the hype of cryptocurrencies. We
Yeah.
have done our fair share of pump and dump with the coins. Many people have lost their money, many people have made fortunes. Now we are thinking beyond those pump and dump, and now and people are and entities were already thinking about it. Now the actual people consumers are also thinking about the utility of something, because earlier NFTs were only being used as a mode of trading.
Yeah.
That's what we probably most of the time do with our real estate in Pakistan. We sell amongst our each other, increasing its cost. The value doesn't increase anyway. It's just another plot in Bahria DHA or wherever. So now people are saying that what we can do with NFTs, let's say. So the tokenization bit of it is changing the way now we're looking at things. Now people can do micro investments in real estate through tokenization.
Mm-hmm.
That's been happening in UAE. There was a pilot program, a sandbox program in Pakistan as well by one of the companies called Xstate. So that's one use case. Now I don't have to have 20 million rupees to buy a plot.
Mm-hmm.
I can invest, let's say, 50,000, 1 lakh, or maybe 2 lakh rupees to buy a very small portion of a plot.
So it's already there. You are saying it's live, is it?
Yeah, so they did that, and
Okay.
now it's so it's the only catch is the regulatory environment. We have the regulatory environment authorized by the Securities Exchange Commission,
Okay.
and then we can do all of those things. The next thing is the tokenization of the products offered by banks.
Okay.
Banks have different products. They also offer bonds and securities. They offer loans. They can also do they also do investments. So
Yeah.
bringing and they also do cross-border payments, which is a very big problem
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
for almost the whole world. It's for the with legacy systems and the switch protocol, it's been taking a lot of days.
Yeah.
Now we have the blockchain ecosystem where we can do those transactions, and even if they fail, we can even revert them very quickly. So those transactions can happen in seconds, if not minutes.
Hmm.
The cross-border payments for any country have been has been a challenge, and now banks can offer or maybe settle with different other banks which are already on a blockchain system, that they can do the reconciliation of the transactions very quickly because the smart contracts are there, the data is already there. They all have to do is give access to each other and do the reconciliation.
So, question.
Switch. Yeah.
Question. So you are saying if two banks need to do this decentralized blockchain transaction, both need to be on this network. It cannot be only one.
So partially, yes. The
Okay.
reason is if the other bank is again using the legacy systems,
Hmm.
we're going to ultimately integrate with them.
Hmm.
What are the challenges with the legacy systems are going to be still there on one party.
Hmm. Hmm.
The other party has already upgraded. So what if we are saying that it's going to happen in within minutes? That's not entirely
Yeah.
possible unless both ends are meeting
Yeah.
with
Yeah. So half is there, half is not there. So half delay will still be there. Okay.
exactly.
Fair. Fair enough.
So that's why now they are building consortiums across the world where banks can join and they sort of say that, okay, now we are part of it. We want to upgrade our technology and the ecosystem. We want to be part of this ecosystem so that from east to west, we can do these payments, we can do these transactions, we can do the inclusions, financial inclusion rather more quickly. In a country like Pakistan, which is 90% cash based, it can be a huge jump or a huge leap towards financial inclusion.
Hmm.
According to some reports, I'm sure it's not a right number, but I read it somewhere, so I'm just quoting it without saying that have gone into the detail and properly researched it. But a few billion dollars have been invested by Pakistanis in crypto.
Hmm.
Not a million, a few billion dollars. So the good thing is that we know that we have the money, and
Hmm.
it's mostly the public, the consumers, the retailer end of it who have invested that money. Institutes haven't done that yet. If we want to understand where the money is going and how there it's been coming, and of course, all the all the anti-money laundering uh, measures that we want to take, blockchain is the solution that we can possibly take.
Hmm.
But the catch is that we have to make it more accessible. If you're going to keep it, if you're going to keep it with higher charges and
Hmm.
not that accessible, the Hawala system will
Yeah.
again prevail.
Yeah. True.
So what we are working on is that we want to bring in, we're working with different entities to take them through the journey that how they can revolutionize, how can they adopt this revolutionary technology to change the way they do their business so far. Different European and American banks have already adopted. They
Hmm.
have their own stable coins. Pakistan's central bank can have its own stable coin backed by the money they already have in the reserve. And then there can be OTCs. OTCs are the people who are going to allow the trading and the the buying and the selling of that stable coin.
Mm-hmm.
So those can be banks. And then through those banks, let's say it's one major bank in Pakistan, people can buy stable coins, and I put in some money in my account, let's say 10,000 rupees, and I can have a stable coin against it. And now we have a new way medium of paying to each, either to retailers or other people across the world. The challenge comes in when we have to do it, the cross-border payments. According to the regulations of Pakistan's central bank, so
Yeah.
according to the regulation of Pakistan's central bank, the citizens of Pakistan are not allowed to send the money outside of Pakistan.
Mm.
We can make it if the regulations allow, and we if we can send the money outside and we can do that reconciliation between the payments, cross-border payments, it can be beneficial for the country ultimately, because to curb that money laundering and the flight of capital which was already going out, uh, and most of it, interestingly, through banking channels
Mm. Mm.
before the regulations came in.
Mm-hmm.
There have been no records of those transactions, and now when there were sort of checks and balances, people were asking that banks got the penalties, but they got so much business through it
Yeah,
that
yeah.
they didn't mind paying the penalties.
Actually, I can switch this one, your example, that rather than they allow money to go out of Pakistan, I think if you turn the other way around, they allow money to come in via decentralized, I think that will go in a benefit of Pakistani government and state bank as well. Because if I need to send money to Pakistan, I normally go to different portals who have, of course, contract with Pakistani regulatory, then I am able to send money. But they charge me so much that decentralized can make, I think, maybe charge 10 times less than. So I think,
Indeed.
yeah, right. So even to do that, Pakistani government can launch something like this blockchain, and people sitting like us outside, foreigners, Pakistani guys sitting outside, we want to use that and send money. I think that's a win-win for those people as well, like Pakistani government who don't want Pakistani money to go out of Pakistan, fine, but use blockchain to bring money in. What do you think about that?
100%, and you're absolutely right. For example, if you have to send money from Malaysia to Pakistan,
Yeah,
I'm not sure if any bank has a direct connection with a Malaysian bank, but
they have, but it takes time, 2 to 3 days, and
right.
they have around 20, 30 ringgit, something like that, big amount for per transaction. Yeah,
So that's a huge money.
too much.
So now, that's a huge price to pay on that kind of money. So now let's think about, for example, if you would have, and that's because the legacy systems take those time. You
Mm.
have to process that payment, send the switch message, which takes 2 to 5 days
Yeah,
to reach the other side, and then they do the reconciliation that, okay, we have sent this money, the central bank, it goes to the central bank and sort of reconciliates, and then it goes to the bank, and then to the bank's treasury, and then the treasury sort of tells you that we have received the money against your account, and you have to come and verify yourself so that we can send you the money. And once, if we have done like 5 transactions in one after the other, then they sort of build the trust. Okay, now we know the person who is receiving the money.
I was about to say that, just our audience, because someone may challenge that there are banking or portals which can do the transaction within minutes. So you are right. Initially, they take time, but as the trust factor and the KYC is already trusted, it go faster within minutes. But again, the cost of transfer is way higher. The bigger amount I send, the more commission or fee I have to pay. I think in
Right.
both scenarios it will be either or the both scenario, it is favorable for whoever implement that. Yeah.
So in that case, let's think about it. Of course, there will still be in the blockchain transactions or in the crypto transactions, the cryptocurrencies, there's a element of gas fee.
Yeah.
That gas fee can be high on blockchains or built on Ethereum or the Ethereum itself.
Mm,
But most of the blockchains are trying to keep their gas fees very low. The
mm,
gas fees is caused by the different factors, but one of them is majorly is the cost of running the nodes.
mm,
We as a business, bank as a business is running a node to receive or send the transactions. So the
mm,
cost of running that node is lesser in terms of doing those transactions through the legacy systems. And
mm,
when that comes, because then when that transaction cost goes down, ultimately the cost that's been passed on to the consumer goes down.
mm.
And that's how will be able to do the cross-border payments quicker and cheaper. Because now, if you also think that, and that's about having that kind of network in consortium where we can allow the interoperability and the transactions happening over internet. That's why the digital payment systems came
Yeah.
in. Wise is there. If I send you the money or you send me the money, it's done in seconds
Yeah.
because that's their own platform. We can do the same thing with the crypto. But of course, the institutions are going to be running the nodes, so there will be some cost, but not as high as we are paying right now for
Mm,
cross-border payments.
yeah.
So that's one thing that they can look at. Again, the next thing is the tokenization of securities and bonds.
I was about to come to security. You can cover the security and bond. Before you said bond, I thought you were talking to security. What is the privacy and security before you go to bond? How corporate sector, financial sector can be assured that their customers' privacy and okay, my money will not be lost. What is the guarantee and assurance in blockchain?
So it's the same, it's the same thing as with the conventional banking system.
Okay.
The institution is, if you're depositing your money in a bank, it's an institution regulated by the different authorities of the country.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the mode, the technology has changed, everything else stays the same.
Okay.
Which we're changing the technology, and we're of course we're changing the technology to make it to make everything more robust and efficient. We're not changing anything else. So the money will be more it will be rather more digital,
Mm-hmm.
and it can be transacted fast. But the security of the money will be ensured by the institution as itself, as they do it with the uh,
Yeah, because KYC is customer information and their actual money is still sitting with the bank. It is digital, which is outside. If something happens over there, somewhere or the bank have the actual number with them and it can be brought it back. That's what you mean.
What I was in fact talking about the securities and the bonds is the are the instruments through which banks or the central banks sort of or sukuks, they sort of bring in the investors' money, general public. They can buy those bonds or sukuks from the banks offered by the central bank, against which they can do the investments with the government
Hmm.
in government projects. So, because the government at the end of the day is the biggest, is the person, they're getting the most loans.
Hmm.
They're lending most amount of money from the banks.
Hmm.
So those can go on blockchain as well for more transparency, for more easier trade. Let's say I don't have to go to a bank and do all that KYC because all of that's been done already.
Hmm.
And then I can do different sort of transactions with a financial institution.
Hmm.
One very good example here in Pakistan is the shift from one link to Rast. So
Hmm.
Rast payment gateway was developed by the central bank itself. It used to charge a few amount of some amount of money to send money from through one link because from one bank to the other.
Hmm.
Then they brought in Rast. And they said we'll do it for free because we are the whole one ecosystem. Everyone is interoperable. They can have the interoperability. And why do we need to pay for something that should be free of charge?
Hmm.
So that's how we're doing the free, at least for now, for a while. And then if they want to charge for different transactions, which they shouldn't, because if they want to promote the digital economy, because otherwise it's very easier to pay the cash
Hmm.
to people, and it works very well for them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So this is that one clear example of how the change of technology or having the proprietary technology within a country can change the cost of doing business.
Hmm.
Same will happen with the blockchain for the cross-border payments, for the financial inclusion,
Hmm.
for different sort of financial instruments,
Hmm.
so that economy is more documented and transactions can happen rather more easily.
Yeah, and there is no going back. I personally feel when this whole thing started, like maybe 10 years back, when this Ethereum and Bitcoin becoming very famous. I think I
Hmm.
was sitting with few of my folks in Pakistan in one of the company, and he was talking about like, yeah, there's now no going back. The only turning thing or maturity stage we should wait for it, like governments and regulatory body, then and private sector start converting their actual stuff into digitalization, especially governments. As you mentioned, they convert 1 rupee or $1 equal to one token, and it is regulated. I think there was no going back from that, and I think now we are seeing that after 10 years that I and you are actually talking about it, and some European countries have already started that, right? So it's all about adoption and trying to understand that what it is and getting, I would say, getting comfortable with this idea.
So imagine this in a way that, for example, the same way we have our bank accounts, we will have digital wallets in which we can hold multiple currencies,
Hmm.
Bitcoin, Ethereum, and otherwise. And now there are OTCs in the country.
Hmm.
So if I have to, let's say, I'm going to give an example which costs a bit more of a money than a cup of coffee. If
Hmm.
I have to buy a car, I
Hmm.
can probably do it through the Bitcoin because now it has gone up, and I
Hmm.
have that leverage to take it out and use it to pay it for the car. It won't be hidden, number one. A regulator can see, or a central exchange or an OTC in Pakistan can see that I made that payment
Hmm.
from the yield or the change or the variation that happened in another asset.
Hmm.
And it doesn't, people think that we have to hide our earnings and everything else. Money is not a bad thing.
Hmm.
If we are earning money from mutual investments or other things, money is a good thing because that fuels the economy. That brings it eradicates a lot of problems from the society, because if everybody is playing has abundant money to pay for their daily commodities, it's a good thing in a society.
Yeah, people don't want to expose their money because they don't want to pay taxes. So I think,
The thing that I was talking about is that now think of it in a way that in Pakistan, we can do those transactions in a way that where we can sort of are part of the digital economy globally.
hmm.
And the new digital economy is the economy which is backed by blockchain.
Hmm.
uh, Different institutions, different financial institutions, and governments are now adopting. You can pay for a cup of coffee in Ecuador with Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. After that, possibly we may have another mode of payment. We
Mm,
don't know yet, but this is what the Web3 has brought in. So
mm.
now in this one, we have covered the gaming part that we work
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
We haven't talked about one thing, that is virtual reality. We have done some really good work in virtual reality. I want to show you one bit, which we feel very good about, and that is
You want to
the
share your
car
screen?
config. So the last bit that we were talking about, that we were doing this real virtual reality car configurator.
Mm-hmm.
This was done in Unreal Engine, so that's why the quality is going to be much better than what we saw the other one, because we spent a lot of time optimizing it, making it better. Let me show it to you. And we can do the same thing for real estate. So you're
Okay.
wearing the headset, and this is a Porsche, and you can do the color configurations inside out, the rims, change of interior, and other things. And you can see it in different environments.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
So this kind of textures on the lighting, we
So
spend
you're
good
you're
amount of
saying
time doing this.
so you're saying background is virtual, car is original car, is it?
It's a 3D model. It's car's original 3D model.
Ah, okay.
The 3D model means that you have taken the exact replica into a virtual world.
Okay.
We can change the environments. We can even show the Islamabad highway in the background, which is not a problem.
Okay. No one want to see Porsche on Islamabad highway anyways. My elder one
Understood.
really loves Porsche. At least not
Uh-huh.
Porsche. She told me it's Porsche, not Porsche.
Different pronunciations, yes.
Yeah, 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 true.
So we were doing it with a Swiss client,
Okay.
and they were talking to Porsche actually about this configurator.
Okay.
It didn't go through, but this is what we made.
Awesome. This is good.
And we can do it for other things like real estate as well. If you want to create a room, place a sofa somewhere, move the windows, change the wall textures, just to see what it's going to look like before you order everything.
Awesome.
So this is it for the car configure. And we have other experiences in virtual reality as well. One interesting one, let me just show you what we're doing for the EdTech. One quick one. It's going to take 2 minutes.
No, no, go
So,
for it. Go for it. My mobile is already on charger.
all
I don't
right.
have a hard stop. That's fine.
Okay. So we are doing this virtual reality learning experience where a teacher can write in the air using this pen,
Okay.
and all the students around them can see it.
So
So I am
everybody is
sitting,
wearing those goggles, right?
yes, yes.
Yeah.
And also probably on a iPad. So I can see it on an iPad, but
Okay.
the teacher has to write it with this pen.
Oh, so it's a pen. So app is there. You have pen in
Yeah.
your hand and you are just doing like this. Oh, this is
Yes,
great.
and you're ruling in the air. So I can be sitting in my home, you can be sitting in your home, and we can be learning about physics, different aspects of physics. And I can simply write it in the air, and you'll be able to see it.
Awesome. So this is already in development or it's already in production?
It's already in production.
Okay.
We're doing it with a client who earlier worked at Meta, and now he's the one who's creating this experience.
Tala, you must remember when we were in OVX, I ordered that thumb drive which I put on my laptop and we can do on the screen. Were you there at that time?
Mhm. I don't remember exactly.
So there was a company, people left from Apple, they created a company. So there was small device I ordered from US, it came to us. So you put it on your laptop with of course USB and with
Mhm.
certain distance, you can use your hands and you can click everything. So I think this is amazing, something like that. I don't
Right.
remember the name of that device.
That must be in a hologram or something.
Yeah,
That
hologram,
must.
something like that. It was an Apple look and shape, that thumb drive kind of stuff. And
Hmm.
it was amazing. But it was so immature at that time, like 10 years back. More than that, 15 years.
So
Yeah.
indeed. So the interesting bit is whenever we are listening to podcasts from people who have been in the business for the IT business or technology business before the dot-com bubble burst,
Mm.
they talk about the things which are now happening and they were too early for the time
Yeah.
and they were too early. The podcasts, the other things, which were not very prevailing at that time and were not could not be consumed very effectively because there were not a lot of channels or the mediums where you could listen to them.
True.
So it happens. There's always a time for all the technologies to be adopted rightly.
Actually, that's one of my learning as well. Like this, in every browser, you have this bookmark.
Hmm.
In 2015, I created a website where you can write down, there was a text screen, and text box you put and you click and it create a small icon and you have all the bookmark on your website. So I did it in 2009, 8 or 9
Right.
at that time. At that time, bookmark concept was not there, so it did not click. Of course, look and feel was not good. It was not very efficient, but few of my friends really liked that, and they start recording it, right? Because you end up, having so many URLs, you do not know where to store. Yeah. So
Yes.
again, now you cannot have a browser without bookmark.
Yes.
Yeah, but
So
never
it's
mind.
about the time of adoption of technology.
Yeah, absolutely. So Tala, again, it was a great session with you. I think we have covered three part: virtual reality, blockchain, and gaming, right? So I think people now can see that there are a lot of good work happening in Pakistan. And let me add it this and share it across with my audience. Let's see if someone can come. Again, thanks for taking out your time, Tala. Anything you want to closing remarks on this one before we end our session?
So the only remarks that I want to say is that we haven't actually even started yet. I think this was just the homework that we were preparing with. We have a long, long way to go because the benchmark that we have, at least I have set in my mind, is that we have to compete with bigger international companies where we can build products, we can do the services as well of the quality which can be consumed or used across the world and that they can be effectively used,
Hmm.
utilized in a proper way. It can be financial institutions using the blockchain technology that we built for them. It can be the virtual reality applications which can be used in ed tech platforms to
Hmm.
teach. So they have a real world utility, and then there can be games either driven by stories, either teaching younger children so that we have an impact in the community.
Awesome. Awesome, Tala. I think you're an inspiration for other kids in Pakistan. And it was lovely talking to you. And we'll continue having these kind of sessions and we'll see how things goes. Thank you, Tala. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.